I'm just having a great day. I'm having a great day. We're live at the U.S. Open. We're at Oakmont. We're right above the range. I don't know if it's quite golden hour. I am colorblind, so I'm fighting an uphill battle when it comes to declaring things a certain color.
It's always golden hour, Pittsburgh.
But this is pretty awesome. We're at the U.S. Open. We're going to get into the leaderboard, all that stuff. But I just wanted to start the show by saying, if you don't love today, you might not love golf. Competitive golf, I should say. Tournament golf. And you know, whenever I say that the U.S. Open, I'm a U.S. Open guy, my mind always goes to the Masters.
There's a what about.
There's a what about. There's a constant what about. And Thursday at the Masters is awesome, but Thursday at the U.S. Open for me, you got 156 players. There's only 88 in the Masters, and the broadcast is showing every single one. They make like an effort to do that.
Yeah.
It's 7:30 right now. We have at least another hour and a half of daylight. Summer is here. You've got the best players in the world. The course is a story. It's like a breathing entity of itself. You're wondering how the course is going to hold up, how the course is going to set up, how the scoring is going to be. You know that half the best players in the world are going to shoot 75 or above. You've got qualifiers who have mini tour guys who have grinded their way here, who are like, this is my week, like this is it, like they're ready for it. You've got the amateurs who are probably a little nervous more than anything else, and you got golf all day long. And today was just a really special day for me. I really enjoyed today.
I'm so happy that you are so happy here in the place where I come from.
Well, to be fair, it's like 80 degrees. It's been really nice the last 2 days. We missed the rain on Monday.
We might.
Yeah, Ben's here. Ben Boscovich is here as always, guys.
Hey, I'm Ben.
Editor-in-chief of Scratch. You guys know that already.
Yeah, it's been really hot. Been spending a lot of time in the media center because it's very, very cold in there. You can get out here for like 20 minutes at a time. What did it take you, an hour to get to the
Well, I'm going to talk
tent?
about that. This place is, it's probably the biggest, it's the biggest like property I've seen for only one golf course. Like
Oh, yeah.
I've you've been big. I've been bigger places, but we went to go to get a hat that I decided not to wear on the show, and it was a solid 1 hour each way.
Yeah.
So it's a huge property.
And now that there aren't trees, you can really see it all.
Yeah, there's no trees. We've talked at length about that. So it's so hot out there. It's just there's no shade. All right. First round of the U.S. Open is not quite in the books, but again, we only have about 30 minutes left of daylight, so we figured we'd go live now. We got J.J. Spaun leading with a 4 under 66, and I think this is sort of what we were expecting. Maybe a little lower scoring than we were expecting, but you know, we were talking about this yesterday. It was still a little bit soft. It still is a little bit soft. But I was looking through the press conferences that just came through. Brooks Koepka was saying it's not quite as firm as you expect the U.S. Open yet. It will get there. And it's not so much, we had Jeff Hall on the show from the USGA, it's not so much about how much rain they received on Monday, it's more about how much rain they received in like the weeks before. Mm-hmm. Apparently it's just been a very, very wet spring, so there's a large base of water.
I think the wettest May in history of the area, I heard.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating.
Okay, so literally the wettest that it's ever been.
Yeah.
And so we had Neil Shipley on yesterday, and we were kind of talking about this. Here's Neil and I kind of forecasting what the scores might be on Thursday.
Somebody's going to come out round one and shoot 66.
They're just still soft. Like the greens are still a little receptive.
Somebody's going to shoot 4 or 5, but they're going to back it up with like a 72, 73, and they're going to go backwards. Whoever's hitting the driver the best is got a really dang good chance.
First of all, a fantastic edit from Alex Bush there. That just a little doing there really elevated that video. So it didn't take long at all for that 66 to be shot. One of the first groups, J.J. Spaun. Before I dive into J.J., I'm going to do just a little quick drive-by of the leaderboard. So we got J.J. Spaun at 4 under. In second place, we got Tristan Lawrence. You guys remember him from last year's Open Championship. I think he might have had the lead at one point on Sunday before Xander took over. Tied for third, three very intriguing names. We got Siwoo Kim, Brooks Koepka, who had a super interesting press conference that we're going to dive all the way into. Siwoo Kim is a big-time friend of the program. We'll give you some more sort of inside stuff on Siwoo because he's just the gift that keeps on giving. Sungjae, whose caddy Willie has been on our show a bunch of times. They're at 2 under.
Interesting names on that list.
That was Siwoo, Brooks, and Sungjae.
And Willie.
That's right. Willie counts. They're on the leaderboard, but always in our hearts. Ben Griffin is at 1 under with Thomas Dietrich. Jon Rahm is at 1 under, which is we're going to talk a lot about Jon Rahm being 1 under par. Another really strong, at least, start to a major after the PGA Championship. James Nicholas, who you guys might know from following on Instagram. He's been one of the first guys who kind of like documented his journey. He qualified his way in. He's at 1 under. He's still got a bunch of holes left. Some disappointments. Another Justin Thomas shot 6 over today. Patrick Cantlay shot 6 over today. Rory McIlroy shot 4 over. Bryson DeChambeau's 3 over. Scotty Scheffler, world number 1 at 3 over. Not out of it, but not the opening round we were expecting.
Showed some frustration.
Showed some big time frustration. We're going to get into all those players. We're going to start though with JJ Spaun. So one of the first groups out, and JJ entered this week number 25 in the Data Golf rankings and number 25 in the World Golf rankings. It's very rare these days that those two are the same. So I was like, okay, they agree on
true.
They agree on something. He's definitely in the mix for the Ryder Cup. He had that solo second finish to Rory at the Players Championship. He's 13th in the points right now, but remember the points are magnified major weeks, so this could be a huge week for that. And obviously, that second place finish in the Players taught him a lot. Here we have a clip from JJ Spaun speaking earlier today after his 66.
The Players was a really good sort of kind of spring into the self-belief, because it wasn't like I faked it. You can maybe fake it at the Sony and Cognizant or whatever, but to do that at the Players, a course where I'd never done well historically, and to go head-to-head with Rory on Sunday, and then the playoff was great for my confidence. Unfortunately, I didn't win, but it was great for me to kind of lean back on that experience and know that I can perform on like the biggest of stages and deal and handle with the pressure. So there's gonna be a lot of pressure this week too, and hopefully I can rely on those experiences.
Well, we're so close to the 18th hole that I'm like watching my voice. Because there's guys who are finishing on 18, like there's a ball that's still in play. So I don't want to bother anyone. But this sort of reminded me of the 2016 U.S. Open here as far as the first round. That tournament, the winning score ended up being 4 under par, but a sort of similar mix where you had someone who shot 4 under, a couple guys at 3 under. I think there are more under par scores right now. Look at that, Scotty Scheffler, amateur, shot 69 in the first round. I love seeing that. That fires me up.
Same kind of mix of names too.
Just sort of a little peek into the future of what Scotty Scheffler might be able to accomplish. One of those names that is not quite under par but is even par is Jordan Spieth. I think he bogeyed the last to shoot even par, and Rick Gehman was talking about this earlier on our show. There's been some signs from Spieth, so I'm gonna read Spieth's last, I don't know how many, last 10, last 50. I'm not counting. Starts. Cognizant tied for 9th, Players 59th, Valspar tied for 28th, Valero tied for 12th, Masters tied for 14th, RBC Heritage tied for 18th, CJ Cup 4th, Truist T34. PGA miscut, which that was bad. Miscuts are bad. Charles Schwab T36, Memorial T7. So he entered 22nd in Data Golf.
That graph looks like this.
Yeah, but there's more. There's a lot of solid finishes, and so he entered this week 22 in Data Golf and 47th in the official World Golf ranking. Even par round, he is definitely in contention. And here is what Rick Gehman had. Did you know, by the way, that there's a function on Apple Podcasts that automatically transcribes podcasts?
Oh no!
Every podcast that we've ever done is transcribed. It's a kind of a wild experience seeing it transcribed.
What made you think that?
Just how much we Well, what made me think that is I wanted to go back and think and get the clip from Jordan of Rick talking about Jordan Spieth on the show, but I didn't know if we quite had time to get the clip, so I just went and got the quote itself.
So the transcript.
So I have the transcript.
What do you say?
He said he is fast now, which is talking about driver, not just like running. He's got a lot longer. His short game, the putter, has returned to him. We're basically getting the best version of Jordan Spieth that we have in any of the last 3 years. Maybe that was a low bar for him, but he has kept all the good stuff from 2024. He's starting to find the good stuff from like 2021, and it's creating this kind of super version of Spieth right now that I think is very, very dangerous at this event. Now, this is a transcript. I don't know what his tone was. I didn't rewatch the clip, but those are pretty strong.
When Rick gets passionate, he's passionate.
Yeah,
when the math is mathing. I love it. It's like a Captain Planet of two different Spieths together.
Yeah, it's a super Spieth. And if Spieth was just normal Spieth, won a bunch of majors, I wonder what super Spieth could do. Also up there, also from Dallas, how about that for a segue? Siwoo Kim. So Siwoo Kim shot 2 under 68. He's just a delightful character. We saw he was a factor pretty much all week at Quail Hollow. I think he ended up finishing tied for 8th, but he was up there. It was, I want to say, the first major top 10 of his career. And Siwoo and I had a lovely little exchange earlier this week where I told him that I had a dream that he won the U.S. Open.
You did?
Well, yeah, here it is. Please tell me the bottom is blurred out. Okay, yes. I do. I have this. It's not an uncommon dream for me. Different players winning different tournaments.
Oh, really?
But it's selfishly. It's like, how would it affect me? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Because it could like be one of your friends, like somebody you could.
No.
text and, like,
More like how big of a story would it be? Like,
oh, like yeah.
it's like how much work would I have to do?
What does it count in the pantheon?
If it's like if I have a dream that like Rory won a tournament, then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to work a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I got mixed feelings toward that. So I said I had a dream you won the U.S. Open. He said, no way. Haha, hope that is right. And then he said, haven't seen you this week, and so I'm taking credit. I'm taking credit for the 66 at Siwoo.
You inceptioned him. He put the dream within his dream.
He's one of those guys that the more time you spend, the more fond you are of them. He's just a really good guy. He's very, very self-deprecating. Like, and we saw this. Actually, let's just roll the clip. Here's Siwoo talking about shooting 68 at Oakmont in the U.S. Open.
Honestly, like, I don't even know what I'm doing on the course, so I kind of hitting good, but feel like this course is too hard for me. So kind of like no expectation, but I played great today.
Really? You don't know what you feel like you're doing? You're doing a great job, playing very well. How has it all clicked into place for you?
Yeah, I'm saying like more, even I shot 80, I feel like not gonna be bet round, but I did it great because less windy for sure, first 9 hole, and then hitting pretty much only a couple misses rough. I think that helps me to get the good score.
His English has improved so much. He still sometimes runs into a corner.
Yeah.
And you can tell, and it's he gets out of it.
Yeah, but there's something about his mode of self-deprecation, but also it's not like intense. It's just so light and it's like it's a good mentality.
I don't think that
golf.
I don't think that like golf is like, I'm not saying it's not important to Siwoo, but I think that he's pretty happy.
He doesn't let it get to him.
I think he's just like a pretty happy guy. That's my read.
I just think the way he thinks
and
is
I think
good.
that like there are reasons. Sorry, that was, if you watched the rehearsal, I would have made a joke right there, but you didn't watch it, so I can't make the joke. Your face just took me completely out of my zone. I was talking about Siwoo Kim.
Bush is just on the phone back there.
Bush is on the phone, just like having with a shitty.
He's putting in an order
it.
at Canes.
What was I just saying about Siwoo? I was just saying something about Siwoo.
His mentality is just
there's
like,
a reason.
It's not
I
the
remember.
most important thing.
There's a reason why fan favorites are like fan favorites. Like, they exude a certain type of energy, and I think that Siwoo we can like firmly put in that category as a fan favorite.
He told you missed you. I mean, he's a sweetheart.
He's a sweetheart. Ben Griffin, he shot, I believe, 1 under 69. Yep, 1 under 69. There might not be a more confident player.
Yeah, he's doing this, huh?
He's doing it, and it's really fun and really interesting to me when guys get hot, and then it's like the question is it just a hot streak or is it sustained? And we've seen Ben Griffin won for his first event earlier this year, then he won his second event, then he went toe-to-toe with Scottie Scheffler and lost, but played at the Memorial, which was a very major ready golf tournament, and you saw a sort of internal flip that he had where he wasn't just satisfied with finishing second to Scottie Scheffler, which a year ago would have been a dream result for him. He was like, I'm really upset that I didn't close it out.
There's an authentic confidence there.
There's an authentic confidence there, and he's walking around like he belongs. And I mean that, and that's a positive. I'm saying that positively.
There's a pep in his step.
There's a pep in his step, and I think
he's earned it.
And he's earned it, and there's still a long way to go. And I will say, we could look pretty silly tomorrow because this golf course has a ton of bite. But as of right now, a really good start for Ben Griffin, and he finished tied for 8th in the PGA also, so it would be a second straight major. This might have been the most interesting for me press conference / development of the day was Brooks Koepka shooting 68. So I gave Rick a lot of credit, so now I'm going to shit on Rick a little bit. One of his bets was for Brooks Koepka to miss the cut. I actually was.
Oh, man.
I'm a little scared of Brooks at the majors. Like, I will never be able to get what I saw in 2018 and 2019 out of my head. And especially because, he's had injury issues, but not like Tiger. Like, not like, he's 35 years old and he's in the prime of his career. And he's got 5 major championships, and that doesn't just go away. And the question with Brooks, I think, a lot of times has been sort of motivation. But what better motivation than Rory getting to to 5 majors, winning the career Grand Slam. You know, and they've always been compared. I think they're 364 days apart. That's got to light a fire under him. Like seeing that, you know, this guy that I'm always compared to has drawn even with me, and then in sort of the all-time rank has surpassed me.
Is that Brooks's personality? Like, I'm trying to think back
Absolutely.
on Full Swing when he was talking about Scotty. Like, was that his demeanor?
So
talking about
I
Scotty?
think Brooks still feels like the same guy that he was in 5 years ago. Like, I don't think that he's had this sort of like drop in confidence. I mean, he was talking about this today. Actually, let's roll the clip of Brooks's press conference earlier today, and we'll keep talking.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wasn't consistent enough. When I felt like I cutted one, it was drawing. I felt like I blocked one and it would go straight. I just had no sense of reality of where things were. My perception was, like I said, it was so far off. But I haven't seen it on video today, but I would probably look that my swing looks quite similar to how it did in 13 or in years past. It's definitely trending in that direction.
He said that his coach, Pete Cowan, gave him like a 45-minute lecture, basically, a couple weeks ago. And there was, I saw Liv did a piece last week about how long he's been on the range, how much time he's been spending on the range. You know, he said from the first week in April, which is after the Masters, until about last week, you didn't want to be around me. It drove me nuts. It ate at me. I haven't been happy. It's been very irritating. It's a lot. I mean, I had to apologize. I've apologized to Rick, who is his caddy, Ricky Elliott, Pete, which is Pete Cowan, his coach, Jeff, Blake is his agent, my wife, my son, everybody. Apologize to his son. I wouldn't have wanted to be around me. So yeah, I definitely think that I don't think the issue is motivation.
Well, if he's on the other side of that, it explains why he played well today, I think. Because you have to, like, if he's saying he's on the other side of, like, being in that dark mode, or that he has to apologize.
Yeah,
if he broke through that, then, like, that explains.
I just think Brooks, like a motivated Brooks, I'm just not ready to, I don't believe that he's done. I've never believed that he's anywhere close to being done. Like, I watched, that was right when I first started covering golf, was when Brooks Koepka was winning majors, and it was like, I won't forget the feeling of how, like, inevitable it felt, and how solidly he closed them out. Like, I don't think that goes away. If I had to redraft to pick a winner, I would probably pick Jon Rahm, but my second pick would be Brooks Koepka.
Why Rahm?
I just think there was a little bit. So Rahm shot 69 today. This is a wild statistic. He shot 69 in the first round of the last 6 U.S. Opens that he's played in.
Oh, wow.
6 opening round 69s in a row. He didn't play last year at Pinehurst. He had some toe injury.
Yeah.
Probably really gross. No, it's good. It's a good thing that photo never leaked.
I don't want to think about it.
But that stat stopped me in my tracks, and I'm absolutely ready to proclaim that he's back. You know, I do this thing with some of my friends when there's a first round leader or a first round guy who's contending, who you how do I say this politely? Maybe don't think is going to win the tournament. We do like so you know, if I'm just going to pick a name here. I don't want to.
No offense.
If John Smith is not having a very good year, but he's leading after the first round, I might say his live over under for the tournament is tied for 16th and a half.
Yeah.
And so if he finishes tied for 16th, that's one side of the bet, tied for 17th. I would put my over under for Jon Rahm's at like T2 and a half.
Really?
I just feel like he's and it sounds like the most basic analysis. I think he's still Jon Rahm, and I think there was a little bit of a mental sort of, I'm not going to say hurdle, but sort of just a little bit of scar tissue, I think, that was building with the live stuff and with having a really bad major year last year. I think that probably just a little bit, and I think
build a new routine.
And I think had to build a new routine, 100%.
His whole life, yeah.
And I think that he only ended up finishing tied for 8th. That was because he made a gazillion on the last hole. I think getting to hold the lead on Sunday at the PGA was sort of a little crick.
Yeah, there was just a weird last 4 holes.
I think the last 4 holes, but
yeah.
he was tied for the lead.
Yeah,
I think he had a putt to take a solo lead. He lipped out, I want to say, but he was as there as you could possibly be. So yeah, I if I had to redraft, Rahm would be my pick.
I think you'd make a lot of money betting on that over under 2.5 because I guarantee it's at 10.
Yeah, no, there's still a lot of guys ahead of him, but I'm just a second straight major, and you know, I'm also a little I'm pro Rahm after, you know, he gave me a great answer to a question that I've been wanting to ask for a while. So
I loved his answer to your question.
Great.
It was so self-aware.
We already talked about it on the show.
Oh shit.
We already talked about it on the show yesterday. So that's what happens.
Wow.
when you skip
All right.
shows.
Now you've publicly
Well, that's what happens when you
disciplined.
It's just that's what happens when you skip shows.
I really gotta
We
watch
have this
the
conversation sometimes where you're like, I'm not coming to the show, and I'll be like, okay, and then I think you want me to be like, I just want you on the show.
You think I don't like when you say okay? Okay's good.
Okay's good.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what I wouldn't like because then you'll do it.
Okay's
Punish
good.
me.
Okay. I thought.
Okay,
Sometimes I feel like a little bit of an asshole
K
when I
is
just
bad.
say,
You
yeah.
can K me.
You prefer? What about KK?
KK is good.
We are getting along. Thank you, Andy. Okay, it was a segue. That was the front half of the show where we're talking about the guys who played good, and now we're going to talk about some of the guys who maybe didn't play so good. So,
Your
Scotty,
favorite guy who doesn't.
what's that?
Your favorite guy who doesn't play good at these weeks.
Is that Scotty
Is first
Scheffler?
on your list. No, who you said? Oh, I sorry. I looked too far.
You're getting too far ahead. Scotty Scheffler. So Scotty Scheffler, world number 1, big favorite coming in, was plus 275, I want to say, which was the lowest odds for a major championship since Tiger Woods in 2009. And I think they say he was plus 250 or below for every major in 2009, which is crazy. He didn't win one in 2009. So he came in as a Scotty level favorite at all 4 because he was winning tournaments outside of it, and it was still, he hadn't had his heart broken by Y.E. Yang, so they still thought he was invincible. So he was Scotty at every major and didn't win any of them. Wow. And then the car accident happened at the end of that year. Wow. It's Shakespearean. Like that arc is like
one chapter of a,
you know, there was like one year where it was like, oh, he's the best. Wait, he's not. He didn't win, and then like all that shit went down. Anyways, we digress. So Scotty Scheffler, and there were still more people betting on him than any other player combined coming into this week. So the public was all
Scotty. You're back.
Scotty. The public was all on Scotty, and he shot 3 over today. No, he's definitely not out of it, but not a fantastic start. And we saw him play the 18th hole right here, didn't we?
It came up short on his approach.
He was a little bit
Great
short.
drive.
I was really excited though. We were standing in there, and you can see the 18th hole right from inside. And
It was fun. Yeah, you could see it through the window, through that tent.
You could see it through the window,
All the
through the
way.
tent, and Ben was like, "You want to go see Scotty? He's there." And I turned around. I was like, "Oh my gosh, he just backed off the club. It's perfect time." When we sprinted out and we watched his approach, 3 over. You know, I think he's absolutely still in. He's only 7 shots back. It's a long week. If he shoots, you know, just even par, 1 under, 2 under tomorrow, there's still plenty of time. But I think we were expecting a little bit more. I think that's fair to say.
Did you catch enough of his round to diagnose, like, was he missing greens?
No, I did not catch much of his honesty. I saw he showed a bunch of frustration. I saw him with his kind of trademark howl.
Yeah.
One of those. I saw he slammed a club. Yeah, it'll be a quick turnaround. I was talking about this earlier today. I think it's probably an advantage to be late in this tournament, just because I feel like you go early on Thursday, you don't really have any impression of how difficult the course is playing.
There's
You're
also
like,
moisture in the morning.
right, there's moisture in the morning. You're just playing. You don't know what the leaderboard. You don't have to look at a number up there, and then you get a rest. I mean, this course is relentless. It's hot out here. You know, I think I would want to finish at like 11:30 or whatever at noon, and then eat lunch, have a full afternoon, and then have another morning, as opposed to playing in the afternoon and then turning around and doing it right then. I think on weeks like this where it's hot and where the course is really hard, I think it makes a difference. All that to say, quick turnaround for Scotty tomorrow.
Saw a lot of guys go right to the range though. Saw Min-Woo Lee down there after his round. I think Koepka went down afterward. Matt Wallace was grinding down there.
I think a course like this, you have to be in control of your ball. And I think the notion of, if you play that 17th and you don't feel like you're in control of your ball, you feel like you're going to shoot a gazillion tomorrow. Especially end of the round, it can get a little squirrely. Like, you want to go out there, you want to leave, especially if you're playing tomorrow morning, you want to leave with a thought of, okay, I figured this out to some degree.
Everybody's talking about the rain that is coming and that having an effect on the scores, the course being easier. I don't necessarily know that that's going to be the case, because this rough is so thick that when it gets wet, like, I don't know how it gets, like...
Yeah, I think, and also it plays a little longer when it's not super firm. It's just all about the greens firming up.
And this course is 225, is it 2,500 or 250 yards longer than post hands restoration?
250.
250.
Yeah.
So it's not that much longer.
It's long, and a lot of these, the greens are really severe. So the longer it plays off the tee, there's definitely a factor. But I still think that the reason that the scores were low today was mostly because of the softness of the greens, and those should firm up. Bryson also shot 3 over. He had a 1 under for a while, played in the morning wave, but really struggled with his speed as the round wore on. He talked about not being able to to just feel it, to feel the pace, and had a couple 3 putts and just generally looked uncomfortable with the putter.
I think he hit a drive within his first 3 holes that he carried at 340 into a bunker.
Oh, is that right?
It landed in a bunker at 340.
Yeah, well, that's a well-placed bunker.
Yeah.
That's Henry. Henry
Yeah.
Fownes is sitting looking down, smiling somewhere.
my dude.
Rory, a shot further back. He hit his first shot like 392 yards with the driver. I do have a stat for you on Rory. So he was 2 under at the turn, shot back 941, sort of similar to his round at the Masters this year. But here's the stat: he drove it very well, which that was the storyline going in. He drove it very, very, very poorly at the Canadian Open. He then made it very clear that the driver wasn't for him. We all know about his driver being deemed non-conforming at the PGA Championship and then not speaking to media. So there was a lot of attention on the driver. And he hit it well. He gained 1.69 off the tee, which is, he just hit the irons really shitty. That's golf.
1.69 strokes gained. The QI10 is working.
Yeah, the QI. I think he definitely went back to the QI10. Yeah, I think there were a lot of question marks about Rory this week, and he was. It was a kind of a similar round to Bryson's. I think he got it to 2 under. I want to say he was up near the lead, but 41 on the back, and that was 6 over par. It was par 35 on the back. A couple other guys who struggled big time today. Patrick Cantlay shot 6 over. He was 4 over through his first 6 holes. It looks like another, he's +6. It's funny, you see a guy shoot a really poor score in the morning of the U.S. Open, and then by the afternoon, like, all of a sudden doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
I bet you I haven't seen what the average score was today, but it was probably, I would guess, in like the 74 or something range. So not a horrific round, but still, I mean, this guy's a top 15 player in the world, and it's another major where he just never really was in it at all. He's at 6 over, and Justin Thomas is also at 6 over, and for as good as JT was playing earlier this year, for better or for worse, the majors are the tournaments that really matter, and it's been not a super solid start so far.
I've got a prediction that JT is going to do well in the majors next year, not this year. Like,
Next
this
year.
is his year to get back into like the signature events, play well in like the normal.
He did win a
events.
signature event.
Correct.
Yeah, other guys I wanted to highlight a little bit. Colin Morikawa shot even par 70.
Okay.
I said before the show that he was quickly moving up my rankings as I just walked the course a little bit more. I think it's really more about hitting it dead straight than it is about hitting it far and straight. He shot 70. Jackson Koivin, you guys might hear some mowers in the background, by the way, or some where we're live on the range. We're live on the range at Oakmont.
Rocks.
This range, by the way, is out of control. How good this range is. I was just talking to the club historian.
Oh, really?
They have a club historian. He knows a lot. He's going to shock you. He knows a lot about the club. This guy knows a lot about Oakmont. He was telling me, because I was kind of marveling at the range, and I asked him, they're rolling the greens. Do you see that, Alex? They're rolling the greens on the range. So I would venture to guess that they are rolled the exact same way that the greens on the course are. So they don't just have 18 U.S. Open greens here. They have 29 or however many are on this range. And the entire green complex is mowed the exact same way that the greens on the course are. So there's fringe, there's like firm line where the green begins like they have on the course.
Yeah.
The bunkers are cut the same way. There's like longer rough in the face of the bunkers. The bunkers are really steep in the same way that they are on the golf course. And the club historian was telling me this is new. This is the first year that this range is open.
Oh, really?
They totally redid this. He said that the members tee off. There's a whole other deck right there. You see that?
Oh, I see that now.
So
yeah.
that's another hitting deck. There's a little mini putting green behind it.
Yep.
And they have that deck, and the members hit off from there. So the shot to the first green is like 80 yards instead of like 30 yards. And then back over there, right off where I'm looking off camera, they have a brand new, I don't know what he called it, winter house or something. And don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. But there's you can see there's 2 hitting bays on the right. There's 3 more. So they have 5
an indoor hitting bay.
Indoor hitting bay that
Nice.
opens up onto this incredible range
That's epic.
with TVs and music playing. So this is what you expect a major championship range to look like. I could hit balls here all day.
I mean, the guys are buzzing. Look at this.
No, this is we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15. Oh wow, there's more. Yeah, there's like 17 people working on this range already, scooping up balls. Already fixing all the divots. It's actually kind of a fun thing to see.
I like that you can also see ball roll out on these. Like, they're all angled, slope back to front.
Yeah.
So you can
You can
see what
control
happens with the ball.
spin.
And there's so many of back to front greens out there. Right?
Yeah.
So
No,
perfect.
it's very clearly a replica or it's mimicking the playing conditions out there, and it's terrific. Jackson Koepka, so I think he shot 2 over. Let me just make sure of that. Our sweet prince from Auburn, 2 over, impressive round. I think best of the amateurs so far. Justin Hastings is 1 over through 17, but Koepka is now the #1 amateur in the world.
Yes.
Which is
thanks to Luke Clan.
Well, thanks to Luke Clan turning pro, which is something.
Yeah.
That's you're
I
number
say
1
this every
forever.
time you bring him up, like when you went to his school, like his boys, his dogs, they love him. They were like gassing him up.
They call him the Golden Child.
Yeah.
His Auburn teammates called Jackson the Golden Child because he won every award there is to win as a freshman at Auburn. He won Nicholas Award, Haskins Award. He won the SEC Individual. He repeated as the SEC Individual champion this year. How about this stretch of golf? So he gets a top 10 at the NCAAs to lock up his PGA Tour card as a sophomore. I did hear some rumblings, by the way, that PGA Tour U Accelerated might be getting a little bit more difficult because there have been quite a few guys who have qualified, but more to come on that.
Okay.
Jackson Koepka, so he finishes top 10 in the NCAAs to lock up his card. Then he goes straight to golf's longest day, where he qualifies for the US Open. Then he goes straight to the Palmer Cup, which is it's like a co-ed Ryder Cup, college.
Oh, for college?
Yeah, and they had that at Congaree last week. Europe actually won on U.S. soil, which doesn't happen very often.
Foreshadowing?
He was a little bit upset about that.
Yikes.
And then straight to Oakmont. And so I asked him, well, what are you playing this year, like the rest of the year? Because he's in a really unique spot where it doesn't really matter how it goes the rest of his amateur career. He wants to win, I'm sure, another national championship for Auburn. But as far as playing a full schedule in the summer, so he told me that he's playing John Deere, ISCO, which is 2 PGA Tour events, Western Am and US Am, and that's it. 4 events for the summer. I said, time for some rest. He said, I think I need some rest.
Yeah.
So.
And good for him for going back to school. I really love that he's doing that.
Yeah, he's got a good life at Auburn. Auburn's definitely a good place to be known on campus as.
I would not leave college.
You know what I
early for
mean? Like
anything.
just known as like the best golfer in the country on Auburn's campus. I can understand why he doesn't want to leave. Alistair Doherty, we were kind of hyping him up. An amazing story. Know him from my Barstool days. Earned his way into his first U.S. Open. I'm gonna try to end the show on the Sooner side because I think they're moving over, aren't they? Anyways, Alistair Doherty. I was pulling for him big time. He got in that car accident. Qualified for his first U.S. Open. First major of any kind at the North Carolina qualifying site. Has been as close as you could possibly be to getting your PGA Tour card. He missed it by 1 at Korn Ferry Finals. 31 years old, been grinding for so long. He struggled today, shot 10 over par.
Is 10 over par out of it?
10 over. He needs to shoot probably, I think the cut. Let's see actually what Data Golf thinks the cut is going to be.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I think that everyone was sort of hypothesizing that it was going to be around 6 over or 7 over. They think it's going to be, as of right now, projected cut line, cut.
They have it at 5?
They have it at, why can't I see this? Probability of finishing.
I think it shows it down. Like,
It shows
where
at the
it's-
bottom,
cuts
doesn't it?
off.
Yeah. They think it's going to be +6. Well, 40% +6 and 31% +7. So we would need to shoot a very, very good round tomorrow.
So JT is still in it.
Yo, JT, yeah, 100%. Yeah, if they shoot anything in the U.S. Open, anything under par, you like absolutely rocket up the board. So a couple others who struggled, the Dennis, Matt Vogt, he shot 82. Maybe it's because of his tee time. This was like the most dad joke that I've ever seen. Do we have this, Andy? Yeah. Missed opportunity to not give the dentist the tee time of 2:30.
Good one.
Someone had to make it. And then Trevor Gutschewski, I think I'm pronouncing that right. His dad played on tour for a long time. He won the U.S. Junior to qualify for this. He shot 80. He was ready for Oakmont Bakery. He said, I think it's time for me to get some Oakmont Bakery. That name, by the way, is everywhere. You know when you hear something for the first time and then it's everywhere? Well, this is probably not the best example because we are in Oakmont. But you know when that happens? Like you hear something for the first time and you start seeing it everywhere? I heard Oakmont Bakery for the first time yesterday. It's everywhere. Is it a thing?
It's very much a thing. From here all the way to like where I grew up, which is an hour away from here. Like everybody,
they have multiple.
People come here to go to it.
People come to Oakmont Bakery as a destination.
Yeah.
How's it been for you as a Pittsburgh? What is it? Pittsburgher?
Pittsburgher, Yinzer.
Is Yinzer?
It's been great. I feel. I was telling my friend that's all. I haven't seen him in like 10 years. I was like, I feel so much pride being back here because everybody, especially we're at a place that everybody loves, right? But I got to spend some time in Latrobe yesterday, and
what'd you do yesterday?
I was at the Arnold Palmer. I was at Latrobe Country Club, and then we went to Arnold Palmer's family home and his workshop, his famed workshop. And
So what did he do in the workshop? Like, was he a
well,
craftsman?
he had two different. He had a work bench like in the middle of a room. That's where like all his Scotty Cameron putters are, and like all his modern drivers, all the Callaways that he played. The other place is like a barn that he has. It's like almost like a museum to his celebrity. There's like letters from Dwight Eisenhower in there, and like the tractors he rode, and the Pennzoil commercials, and just a Masters film from like 1960 film rolls all the way through like 1980.
They have those.
Yeah,
The Masters like official movie's been like a thing, right? They have. It's like it's not the broadcast, right? It's like a.
I don't know. I didn't touch it.
You didn't pop it in.
I didn't pop it. I didn't have
Why
the
didn't you just throw it in there?
steady hand or the equipment to do so.
You should have just thrown it in there.
but-
Wow, James Nicholas. I hate to jump in here, but
No,
he's
go
1
for
under par through 17. He's going to get a hell of a TikTok out of this round, and he deserves it. Yeah, I mean,
Remind me who that is.
so this guy. He's played on the Korn Ferry Tour. He's played on the DP World Tour. He's got a big following. He's a big social media, and he's been one of the first guys who's like take people with him.
You said like through his whole journey,
and
yeah.
he'll show you like his practice routines and all of this stuff. He's a Westchester kid. He played football at Yale and golf. I believe he played both, but definitely played football at Yale.
Okay.
Definitely played golf.
Okay,
Yeah,
King.
he was good. He's a hell of an athlete, kind of an all-American. And his wife's name is America.
I love him.
Yeah,
I just asked you about who he was. I love him.
you're in on him. I'm just running through the
all of that.
leaderboard here more. Sorry, I completely cut you off. Were you
No,
making a
there's just
super point
it was a
before?
dream come true to just like Arnold Palmer is my dad's hero growing
You
up.
never that yeah. So that you never did any like Arnold Palmer. Does he have like a museum or something?
No, that is it. Like, and I think they're making plans to make it better and greater and more accessible. I think, and
I think he deserves a museum.
I think so too. I mean, it's amazing. Like growing up, knowing that like the best, most famous athlete from our area was a golfer. Like Dan Marino's from Pittsburgh, but I think Arnold Palmer was always way more.
Is Arnold
revered around
Palmer
here.
the number one Pittsburgh athlete?
He's number one. I mean, we saw it at the club yesterday. He has all these awards for like Sportsman of the Year and like from all local papers and stuff too, and local accolades.
He was a big thing since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a picture of his WPIL championship medal that was in there. That's the conference I played high school basketball and high school golf in. Is
Yeah.
WPIL.
Yeah,
It's cool to be
that's
here.
sweet.
Man.
No, that's sweet. That's very cool. Robert McIntyre. So I'm just looking through the leaderboard here. Robert McIntyre shot even par. He had some interesting things to say. I believe he said that if you shoot even par for the rest, or he said best even par round of my life, and then he was in the press afterwards saying, if you shoot even par, you're leaving here with a medal and a trophy. So he thinks that even par is going to be the winning score. I definitely don't think that we're going to see a leading score. I don't think it's going to get maybe -5 tomorrow, but I think everyone will eventually come back. One thing also that I noticed about Oakmont, 10 and 11 and 1 and 2 are like not super difficult. So right at the beginning of the round, when there's guys on both sides, there was a number of guys who were like 2 under through
2
3,
under through 2,
but
yeah.
that's also just kind of the way that the course plays. So that it was just a classic U.S. Open freak out today of people being like, it's not playing hard enough, it's not playing hard enough. I think it's exactly
for
what
Eagle on 2.
I think it's exactly what we expected to see, and I'm still holding out hope that a perfect weather, a drying day, as Jeff Hall called it, the USGA guy. He didn't say we had a nice weather day. He said we had a great drying day, which that man is locked in on the greens.
If it's not, it is dry now.
It's-
It was so hot today.
Yeah,
No clouds.
no
Sun was
clouds,
beating
no
down
humidity.
on this golf course.
Like I don't think there's definitely no mud left around here.
Nope,
Just
my shoes are.
going through a little bit. Cameron Young shot even par. Almost had a chance to win the Canadian Open and had to qualify for this tournament. Victor Hovland, the mercurial Victor Hovland, he's won over par. Ludwig Oberg +2. He had it going for a little while too. Xander Schauffele +2. With Ryan Gerard, Ryan Fox coming off those 2 wins in his last 4 starts. We had him on the show. Great guy. What a great interview that was. Daniel Berger shot 2 over. Keegan Bradley. A lot of talk about, is he creeping up toward player captain? Well, tomorrow's going to be a big round toward that end, because if he shoots 2 under and he's in the mix, it is a lot different than
Was
if
he
he
an
misses the
afternoon
cut.
tee time?
What'd you say?
Was he afternoon tee time, or did he tee off?
No,
this
he
morning?
teed off this morning.
Yeah, so he was back on the range afterward too. We saw
Yeah.
him
Again,
this
this is just not an area of the world at this golf course that you want to not be in control of your golf ball. Highest score today. There's 2 guys on the course who are at 15 over, Roberto Diaz and George Duwangmani. But it seems like everyone's going to get in under 90. So not a crazy day of carnage. Golf course played difficult, but not There's carnage to come. I really feel like there is.
Carnage to come.
And then right before we go, just a bit of news on the PGA Tour front. Nothing like an Adam Schefter bomb in the middle of the United States
We
Open.
don't usually get those in the golf
Don't
world.
usually
Schefter
get
bomb.
those when Schefter, when Schefter's sniffing around our sport, something major might be happening. So we had Josh Carpenter on the show a couple weeks ago. He had reported that this guy who is now expected to take the job, I don't think it's official yet, but Schefter reported it, so read into that as you will. He doesn't miss very often, is Brian Rolap, who is the number 2 at the NFL. And I think the question now with this new role, CEO of PGA Tour, I don't know, there's PGA Tour Inc. and there's PGA, I don't know exactly what the title is and what the domain is. But I think the question is, what is his overlap? What is his relationship with Monahan? And that's been the question that people have had. When you announce that you're bringing in the CEO, you got the number 2 from the NFL, who is leaving his job as the number 2 at the NFL. The NFL is a pretty big deal.
Pretty popular here.
Pretty popular here. You would think that they're bringing them in for a pretty senior role. So I'm sure there'll be more to come on that. Again, it's not even official that this guy's taking the job, and I'm sure the PGA Tour did not want this getting out.
Probably out of respect, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's the week of the U.S. Open.
Not
it's
when you want to talk about it.
It's just not something that needs, but such is the news.
News is news.
News is news. Quick reminder, guys, I am flying home tomorrow. So I will be not in Oakmont. There is a chance that I go live tomorrow night. We'll see. I probably will be watching golf and doing nothing at home. So I promise I have like a really flourishing social life, but just maybe not U.S. Open week. So I'll probably see you guys tomorrow, maybe. Definitely going to do a show on Saturday. Definitely going to do a show on Sunday, and then we'll be back in the studio on Monday. What an epic afternoon this was.
This is amazing, and it cooled off too.
If I told you a couple years ago that you'd be doing this on the porch overlooking the 18th hole, there's still a ball in play. I still see a ball in the middle of the fairway. This is why this is the best day of the year. It's 8:11, and we're done with our show, and they're still playing golf, and it's really hard. The golf course is really hard.
And those guys, all that blowing you guys heard, they were cleaning up the range. No, it's getting beat up again. People are grinding out here.
People are grinding. These are raised range guys. Thank goodness Bryson didn't have an afternoon tea time. You know what I'm saying? We might be here till tomorrow morning. What a fun. Well, I don't know about that, Andy. Andy made a hypothetical in my head.
I'll hit the honesty button.
Okay, he just hit it.
I'm not supposed to touch it, but it's not my button to hit.
Well, there it goes. You just set it off
cool.
anyway. Andy wanted me to say one of the best tournaments I've been lucky to cover. I'll say this is one of the best afternoons I've had at a golf tournament. I got to see how the tournament, if we get a 5-shot victory from Tristan Lawrence, I don't think that I'm going to, tell my grandkids about this amazing Thursday at the U.S. Open. But if something special happens, it's got a chance.
I think the run up to this and this first day of the tournament is the happiest that I've been covering the sport since I started it.
I thought you were just going to say in your life.
In my whole life. No, I got married.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah. I got married too. It was great. That's it.
Cool.
That's it. We're going to end it there. The light is fading. The mowers have actually quieted it down for us, which is very nice of them. We love you, sickos. If you enjoyed this, give us a like, leave us a comment, do all that stuff. It makes a difference. We'll see you soon.